I could describe Tez, I would describe him as one of a kind.
If I had to describe Tez in one word, it would be multi-talented.
Supportive. Facts.
If I had to describe Tez in one word, it would be passionate for sure.
Mastermind. For real.
I would have to say diligent.
Relentless.
I would choose genuine.
If I could describe myself in one word, I'll probably say unbroken. Just because I feel like I've been through so much, but I just still been able to you know what I'm saying, not give up. I am a music artist. I'm an event host. I do a little bit of everything. I'm a photographer. I'm also a radio host. I'm the host and presenter of Nights in a Sleep Full of Dreams. Like I said, I pretty much do a little bit of everything. Yo, so right now we are actually on the block that I grew up in. This is the house right behind me that I lived in growing up. At this time, I used to live with my auntie, my mom and my grandma. They all stayed in the same house. So this was kind of like a very good point in my life in a way, because you know, I had like my auntie in the house, my mom and my grandma, so it wasn't like a lot of struggle. Everybody was like, you know, going in on the bills and stuff, so pretty much whatever I wanted, I got. I didn't really know what the struggle was until we had moved from this house. And that's when I started to see my mom struggle, and that's when like my dad moved back in the house with us. Once my dad moved back in the house with us, my dad was an alcoholic, so he was drinking all the time. I started to have like a real bad relationship with my dad. I've been doing music since I was literally my whole life, like since I was a kid. I remember when I was super duper young, me and my cousin would start like a music group together. I was probably like 12, 13, and I would rap in the group and she would sing. So even before then, like I always tell people like I'm that little nigga that used to be in the mirror with the brush. I'm that little nigga that used to perform at like Thanksgiving dinners and birthday parties and all that in the family, you know? So like music has always been a part of like who I am and like everything I'm about. Another thing that's so important about this block is when I lived in this house, I lived here with my big brother Keith, like I said, who's really my cousin, but since we lived in the same house, I always felt like that was my brother. And also my grandma, who was like my best friend. And I feel like they both gave me the gift of music because I used to always be like singing with my grandma and like doing so much musical stuff with my grandma. I feel like she gave me that gift of music. And I feel like Keith gave me the gifts to rap because I remember when he got in high school and he started rapping, it was just like, bro, anything that Keith did, I wanted to do. And rapping was definitely one of them, and that definitely started and influenced who Tez Honcho is today. I always tell people that I'm not a host turned rapper. Like, it wasn't like I was just hosting events. It was just like, oh, let me try this. Like, music has always been, like, you know, what I've done. It's who I am.
My first time meeting Keith, the first thing I thought about was he had a very deep voice, and his voice carried. It was very deep. And the similarities between Tez and Keith, you could tell they both was motivated and driven, and that they both was filled with talent. When it comes to his grandma, I remember us going upstairs into her apartment every day and just talking to her and chilling with her and just feeling good vibes, you know, the grandmas give. The way Tez handled losing both of them was very strong, and you can tell that in his music. It made him more soulful. It made him more passionate.
If I had to compare Keith and Tez, I'd definitely say that they both was go-getters. They both was musically inclined, are musically inclined, and didn't really take no for an answer. They kept going. They knew the process. They knew the grind, and stuck to that course and stuck to that grind. Yeah, I'll say that.
If I had to compare Keith to Tez, off the top of my mind right now, I would say like they're both like, they both show like tough love.
Tez and I, we love hard. So putting the people that we love, that we lost in our music is big to us, no matter how we have to live with that for the rest of however long it is. And I think that's what kind of separates us from a lot of artists, the fact that we're willing to be that vulnerable on our music and into the world, so to speak. So yeah, that's definitely something I commend Tez for, because I know it's not easy. I truly know it's not easy.
National Sleeper Full of Dreams is a showcase series that I started back in 2016. So it's been like 4 years now that I've been doing it. It originally started off at the Summer 16 showcase. So I hosted the first one, and I just put together the first one. Brianna B hosted the first one, so shout out to Brianna B. It was in June, and then throughout the night, I was kind of like on the mic here and there a couple of times. And so my friends was like, low key, like, you can start doing this. Like, you can start hosting this. And I'm like, damn, like, I low key was kind of good on the mic that night. Like, I think I could do this, you know? So then literally that next month, I didn't have a host. Like, I hosted it. And that was my very first time, like, ever hosting any event or anything. So Nights and No Sleep kind of started the whole hosting journey and everything. That fall, I ended up going off to college. The owner of the venue was like, yo, like, you had a dope crowd. You know, I like what you're doing. Like, you got to bring that back. And a whole bunch of artists started reaching out to me like, yo, like, we missed the show, when the next show. And I'm just like, no, like, I ain't doing those right now, like, you know. And I remember I had hosted a showcase series. I hosted the first Day 12 showcase with DJ BJ, the very first one that he did at the Bullfrog. And after that night, like, I remember going home and I just was like in my head, like, just kind of like not happy to where I was at in my career, like kind of doubting myself, just kind of like, it was just like one of those nights, and I'm pretty sure like all artists have. And the next day I went to class, because the show was on a Sunday, the next day was a Monday. I went to class, and I had this class where we used to always start off by saying like, where did you come from? You know, and you could say, I'm coming from my dorm room, or I'm coming from a cloudy sky, or, you know, it could be something figurative or something literal. And me being a rapper, like, I would always try to say something that was figurative. And that day I was like, I'm coming from a night of no sleep, but full of dreams. And as soon as I said it, I was like, yo, like, this could be something, you know? And literally that day, I was like, yo, if I bring the showcase series back, I'm gonna probably call it that.
From my viewpoint, Nights and No Sleep is definitely an experience, something that you'll have to be there to experience yourself.
Seeing somebody from our city, somebody from just the music background that he has, Tez has really created an ambiance and an experience and an atmosphere that doesn't exist not only in Michigan, but I've been to other states. I haven't seen an experience like this anywhere else. So Nights and No Sleep is truly, truly unbelievable. You know?
The hard work that he goes through just to put the showcases together, just knowing the budget and the money that goes towards it, and when it's just like you dedicate so much time just to do so much for other people. So it's like so many nights where he won't get sleep, so many nights where it's like he lose out his own money because he had to put some money into the whole showcase. So yeah, and my part that I played in it, where it's just like I just work the door. Like, I make sure the finances is straight. Straight.
It gets bigger and bigger every event.
Nights and No Sleep is exactly what it sounds like. Nights and No Sleep, but full of dreams. So you got people in there who got different things going on. You got the artists, you got producers in there, you got people with clothing lines, people who do photography, videography, it's just a creative group of people, you know, in there. So if you're a creative person, that's like a great place for you to be.
Ugh. The crowd definitely has gotten larger. It gets larger and larger every time to me. It's also a little bit more diverse.
You know, a lot of other showcases, people just in and out.
From that, it just kind of became bigger than a showcase. It just became like my whole movement, my whole brand that I was pushing. So I started doing Nights and No Sleep merch, Nights and No Sleep photography. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything that I was doing was Nights and No Sleep. Even when I started doing radio, it was No Sleep Radio. You know, so everything that I was doing had something to do with Nights and No Sleep.
As far as Tez and radio, I think he can go pretty far in it. I think he got the voice for it, and you put a lot of energy into it. Like, you fact check your stuff. You know what I'm saying?
With doing the events, after I started hosting, I started to get like compliments on my voice and my sound, and people would be like, "Yo, like, I can hear you on radio," and I think that's also another thing that I got from my big cousin Keith, because I remember like when he was in high school, he was thinking about doing radio. Like, anybody that know Keith, like, he had a really distinctive like sound. Like, if you hear him talking, you for sure gonna know that's Keith. And After that, I also would say that like being around BJ, like me hosting events with BJ and like getting to know BJ more, it was just like, yo, like it's something like this dope. Like I low-key like to do this one day. So once the opportunity came, I had a opportunity from another radio station, but it just wasn't gonna work out as far as like scheduling with school and everything. So when the OSO radio situation came, it was just like, yo, this perfect timing. I think one thing that I learned from running track was one day my coach had told me that success is outside of your comfort zone. And what he meant by that was like, you know, during practice every day, I was running long distance. So it's kind of like you're learning your pace, you're learning your comfort zone, you know? But when it's time for you to be at that meet, I need you to step outside of it. I need you to run to where, you know what I'm saying? Like to step it up a little bit. And kind of taking that and broadening it and making it even bigger than life, it just always stuck to me because even now, like even what I'm doing literally right now is stepping outside of my comfort zone for that success, you know? So joy is on the other side of fear. So we are at Mackenzie Track. I used to come here, I think my best friend introduced me to this track. We used to come here like a long time ago. And then eventually I just started coming to this just by myself. Like this track is kind of like my safe place. It's kind of like the place where I come to like get peace of mind. So I really just be up here like by myself, like stretching and running and like working out to like clear my mind. So anytime I done had like really, really bad days or really, really bad arguments or breakups or anything like that, this pretty much the place you could probably find me. It's just peaceful, for real, for real. And it just, it kind of allowed me to like release my thoughts. I feel like I've been in like such a dark place for such a long time, especially just because of like, even when I am happy or even when I am at a good point, it's still that thought like lingering over me. It's still like that dark cloud lingering over me. And that's the reason why, you know, I'm even doing what I'm doing now. It's kind of like getting rid of that dark cloud. But I would definitely say that this is one of the places to where I usually come to kind of just be free from everything and be away from everybody. It just be feeling like I'm the only person in the world. I mean, as you can see, it's people up here now, but like sometimes most of the time, it's usually just be me. It be people running up here in the neighborhood sometimes, but it's usually just me. I wanted to do the documentary because I'm just on a journey of like living free. And I got to a point where it was just like, I don't care, like I don't want nothing to be a secret. And let me take my glasses. So the main reason why I wanted to do this documentary was to, like I said, I'm on this journey of living free and making sure that I'm being, you know, true and authentic and making sure that, like I was talking about the other side of joy, you know, the other side of fear, making sure I'm getting to the other side of fear, which is on the other side of that is joy. So I would never be able to be at peace. I would never be able to have like a peace of mind without fully being free and fully like being myself. And with that being said, I feel like it would be a hindrance for me to not authentically be myself. Like, yeah, my brand is coming this far, and yeah, I've done this and done that, and I'm respected, but I wouldn't be able to respect myself if I don't go about things the right way and it should just be me. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I just wanted to show people where I come from, show people where I'm going, and be fully truthful while doing so. So the main reason why I wanted to do the documentary is, like I said, to do just that, show people where I'm coming from, show people where I'm going, and just to tell people like that I'm gay. And the main reason why I wanted to do that is because with me being in this industry, it's so hard for somebody like me. And honestly, that was one of the main reasons why I never wanted to do something like this. Was because it was like, to me, being gay meant giving up music. And that's my passion. That's all I know. So for me, it was, I swear to God, it was never really about what people thought. because I already been through that. I done went to school every day and was called this fucking name every day and was bullied for it. You know what I'm saying? So over time, you're gonna develop some kind of tough skin. So it wasn't about the outside world or what they thought. It was just like, being gay, it's different music. I had never seen an example of a gay rapper, and I'm about to be the first. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, that kind of kept me from it. But the reason why I got to this point to where I am now was because it's just like, you ain't gonna never have that peace of mind, you ain't gonna never have that freedom, you ain't gonna never just fully be you until you get over that hurdle. And that goes back to what I was saying before, like, you unbroken, you already learned that success is outside of your comfort zone. Step outside of the box. So that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to do it, and it was just like, I kind of want to be like, I kind of wish people knew that, like, this was never a decision. Like, it was never my decision to be this way. I feel like, you know, sometimes people make you feel like that, like it's like a bad thing that you are this way, but I promise you, if I could choose to be any other way, I would. In fact, I spent my whole life trying to be another way. So, I guess once I kind of woke up and told myself, like, yo, it's gonna always be this, and this is something you can't run from, this is what it is, then why not just let it be that? And just do it in front of everybody. It ain't something I gotta hide. It'll just be me. I don't know, man. It kind of feels so dope being back on this block just because there's so many memories in this block, good and bad. Like, I remember just racing up and down the street on my bike all the time and playing with all my friends. But as far as like things go with my sexuality, like, there's so many memories on this block as well. I remember like always playing with all the girls on the block, and I remember actually in this one house over there, I highly doubt they still stay there, but in this one house over there, I remember this one lady specifically had told the kids like her son couldn't play with me because I was gay. And I remember I ran in the house and like I was sad as fuck, like, cause you know all the kids, they gonna take that shit and laugh about it, like, oh, she said that you can't play, you know. Nigga, I was broken, bro. I went in the house to my mom, my dad, and they had came out here mad as hell, you know, like cutting up on the lady. So I feel like, I remember y'all had asked me like yesterday, like, how would I feel about my parents finding out? And when I think of that question, I think back onto that memory. Just because it was like, I remember as a kid, they would have to defend me for that, you know what I'm saying? I can only imagine what it feel like to be a parent and have to, you know, go outside and talk to somebody else about some shit like that, you know? But I feel like a lot of my family kind of already knew when I was younger. And just growing up, since I started to make certain changes about the way I was, you know, it makes it harder for me to come out now because it's such a shock to where, and if I was to just came out then or just stayed that same way then, it wouldn't have been a surprise at all. Like, they would have been like, oh shit, nigga, we already knew that. So even like when I'm around like family members and they tell me that they proud of me, it's like, I know they proud of me because like I started doing my brand, I started like, you know, getting my name out here and making a name for myself. But at the same time, I know that they proud of me because it's like, I thought you was gonna be gay and you turned out to not be. So I'm proud of you for that, you know? So I feel like that's why it makes it even harder to come out. It makes it even harder to like live my truth because I know how many people that in a sense, I feel like I'm gonna be letting them down. I remember like being in school, I feel like this is kind of like where I was like even like learning about myself just because like being in school every day, people was like calling me gay. And I remember like being super duper young and just being like damn, like am I gay? Like not even knowing what the fuck it was, you know what I'm saying? I knew that I used to always like, you know, be around the girls and shit. And I felt like I had the hoes at least, you know? And I don't know, I just was different. I definitely was like, way more like super feminine and way more different than the rest of the boys. You know, like when it came to like us playing gym class and shit, I would always be with the girls while the niggas would be hooping and shit. So a lot of my struggles went through the school because like niggas used to really bully me, like for real, like every day. Like it was like a known thing. Like if anything, I was like the gay nigga at the school. I know it may be hard to believe just because like as I got older, like I learned how to be more masculine, or I learned how to, acting, a different way and had different mannerisms or whatever. But back when I was here, it wasn't like that. It was pretty obvious. It was pretty apparent, and it was really hard for real. For real. It was definitely something I had to struggle with. So just imagine going through shit at home, and then you come to school and it ain't even no better. And especially at this age, I probably would have preferred to not come to school every day. I probably would have preferred to be at home just because of the kind of shit that I was dealing with.
When Tez first came out to me, it was a very emotional night where we were just going into discussion of different types of things that we were going through in life and what I was going through. And so the way he had came out to me, it was just a very emotional thing.
So when Tez came out to me, I was happy that he knew that he could confide in me. I was very happy to know that. I know so many people in this world go through things like that and feel like they can't talk to anybody, so I was very happy. And above all else, I was happy for him because I felt like it was a step toward a more ultimate happiness in his life, and just being true to who he was. And for me, that's like my brother, so that is literally what I, would love to see on a day-to-day for the rest of my life, is him being at his ultimate happiness. So that day was really just was a blessing for me because I knew it was a step in the right direction for him.
So JAMAR MARREIGN, I decided to change my name just because I felt like Tez Honcho no longer represents, I feel like Tez Honcho no longer represents who I am. And I feel like it doesn't represent the direction where I'm headed. So even when it comes to the kind of music I want to make and everything, me pursuing new stuff, even me wanting to do YouTube or whatever I decide to do, I feel like the name Tez Honcho was just kind of honestly, in a way, it was a person that I was creating. Not saying it wasn't me, because it's always been me. All of this is me, you know what I'm saying? But I remember, the reason why I want to go back to being JAMAR, which is really my first name, is because I want to go back to just being me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to say it. It's just I feel like, in a way, psychologically, I kind of divided myself as JAMAR and Tez. And JAMAR always reminded me of that little nigga with the light voice who was getting bullied in school every day. You know what I'm saying? So it was when it came to doing this and saying yo, this is what it's gonna be, and when I was thinking of what would I call myself, it's just why not go back to just being JAMAR? And Marreigne just came from a name that I just used to say when I was a kid, just playing house and shit. My last name would be Marreigne. When I put the two together, it was yo, this shit kind of got a ring to it. I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like it takes darkness to make a star shine bright. And the things that I've been through and the journey that I've been on has prepared me for the levels that I plan to reach. The long journey has become a journey that I'll learn to love. And a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So today, I'm taking that step. I'm embarking on that new journey, embarking on living free and living fearlessly. So allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is JAMAR MARREIGN. I'm a music artist, event host, radio host, entrepreneur, and I'm gay.